The Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show. Here we go.
Last but not least, we have to move on to the smarter people in the world and come on over to this.
Thank God for that.
Vanderbilt Commodores. Yeah, thank God for that, because I don't know what they're going to do playing football. But Coach Clark Lee, second year coaching here, second year at this school. He's 2-10 as a coach. He has offensive coordinator Joey Lynch, defensive coordinator Nick Howell. This is just another part of the process for this Vandy team. You know, we gave it a part of the process last year. We're going to give it a part of the process this year. I don't know how fast this guy can flip the coin. But like we was just talking about, it's all going to come down for him in the out-of-conference games. Those will probably be where he excel, because the teams in the SEC, they don't even want to dream that they lost to Vandy.
Yeah, I mean, Vandy, you know, they're not an offensive juggernaut, never have been. I think this team here has had 3 winning seasons in 40 years. That speaks volumes, you know. So basically, it shows you where the emphasis is at the school as far as football. Not to say they're going to lay down, but I give them credit; they haven't given up. So that's probably their MO is, you know, hey, you know, we're going to try to, you know, go out there as a team and compete. We're going to have some life lessons. We're going to learn, you know, how to win in other areas, not maybe on the scoreboard, but, you know, get these little moral victories. And not to say they haven't had talent come out of Vanderbilt, because they have. You know, it's not like, you know, the school's a lay down school. They're just, you know, just going to lay down and you know, give up, because that's not what they do at Vanderbilt. You know, especially when they play Tennessee right in that last game of the season. There's some surprises in that game. But, you know, last year they had, 3 wins? They beat Colorado State. They beat Connecticut. That's it, 2 wins. 2 wins last year. They lost the season to show you how they went last year. They opened up the East Tennessee State and got almost shut out by them. So we'll see. When you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up.
Yep. I guess this will be the first time that I have to say it on the show for 2022, and that's the sun does shine on a dog ass someday. But
yeah, you know, they had a winless season in 2022. So I was just it's tough rowing, tough sledding for this team, but you know they'll eventually get better, and you know they'll take their lumps along the way. So they're not a laughing stock team. Don't get me wrong. This is a team that competes. They go out, and they're just not an offensive juggernaut. That's for sure. I don't know what their numbers are. I don't have team rankings. I'm not looking at where they're at, but I'm sure they're pretty close to the bottom on the offensive side of things nationwide. Here we go. Scoring, they rank 128th out of 130. So that's pretty much near the bottom.
Yeah, and the way I see them this year, they have health is going to be an issue this year, because they're lacking depth all over in all the units, and the players that they do have, they need to hang on to them. So we hope these guys don't go out there and injure themselves, because that could be a big part to make it even worse.
Here's a positive. They did rank, I think their ranking came out 32 for recruiting, so that speaks a little bit of volumes there, you know. So now they got some athletes to go with the brains, you know, not to say that these kids ain't athletes that are on the field now, but their recruiting rankings has stepped up. So maybe that bodes well in a couple years, and Clark Lee, you know, gives it the old ho-hum for the team, and if he sticks around for a couple, 3, 4 more years, maybe he goes for, you know, a 5-6 win season 2-3 years down the road.
Yeah, maybe he's the guy right here. That's it. Or maybe this is just a stepping
stone. Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, or maybe it's a stepping stone to show us where he's going.
Yeah, maybe if he recruited well, so that bodes well that, you know, he's got some kind of talent. Some coaches are better recruiters than there are coaches. You know, we've seen that happen in our years in college football, you know, analyzing, capping football. Just some guys are better recruiters than there are coaches. And some guys can juggle both. You know, we look at Saban, you know, look at Fisher, you know, those type of coaches. Maybe I'm not saying this is that guy, but maybe he's, you know, next level type coach for Vanderbilt's program.
Yep. So that wraps it up for the SEC East. Now, I want to say in this one, Big Ragoo, looking at the winner of the SEC East, looks like Georgia is kind of a shoe-in, but what's going to be interesting is that number 2 spot.
Mm-hmm.
The number 2 spot, no matter if we get Florida, if we get Tennessee, or
Kentucky.
Or Kentucky is another one that can slip up in there.
Right.
Who gets that 2 spot? It's going to be interesting to see. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. If Georgia gets tripped up, it could be a real interesting season in the SEC East this year.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia could. You know how they say teams that win championships and stuff, they come back and they don't do as well. And but I mean, the only thing that's riding on their side is they got a point to prove. They got a point to prove that we are that number 2, number 1 team in the SEC, and don't keep looking at Bama before you see Georgia. Yeah. So if they play well on the field and make that the statement, then they definitely win the East. They definitely go back to the playoffs, and we might get a rematch.
Ever since Kirby's been there, they've always been knocking on the door, and it's always been one win away from, hoisting that trophy. And they finally had the perfect season last season with a couple, 2-3 years in a row. Before that, it's always been, the one trip up. And now, they got to the top of the mountain. Let's see who's going to knock them off if they can come back.
Let's see. Well, I think that's it right here for us, man.